Don't let them take my picture, cause you know they'll take my soul down too. I'll be staying up all night, cause I just can't get my eyes unglued. Don't let them turn my light on, cause you know I got my eyes shut wide. Said don't let them turn my light on, cause I know I got my eyes shut wide. And I'll be sleeping through the day, man, you know I wanna stay inside. Oh my, won't you call my name? Oh my, won't you call my name? Oh my, won't you call my name? Oh my, won't you call my name?
See that little light up there? I don't know if you can see it, but that's the little green light. That's our vessel monitoring system that tells National Marine Fisheries Service where we're at all the time. And the reason for that is if they have closed areas. And even though my boat's too small to go where the closed area is at, that tells them where I'm at all times. And when they first come out with that, there was a whole bunch of glitches and stuff like that. But now it's pretty much, and you have to pay I think it's $22 a month. You have to pay to keep that on, and it tells National Marine Fisheries Service where it's supposed to tell them where you're at all times. My name is Dewey Hemright. I'm a commercial fisherman from Wanchese, North Carolina. I've been doing this since I was 21 years old. I'm 41 now, and I'm a little bit hard-headed and a little bit glutton for punishment. I have a 42-foot boat that I operate. It's called the Fishing Vessel Tar Baby, and we used to be have multi permits to be able to do a few different things, but now we're down to basically just a couple of things that don't last year round. We used to shark fish. We built a boat doing large coastal shark fishing for 14 years. The majority of our income was doing large coastal sharks, traveling from Mayport, Florida to Montauk, New York, year round, to different seasons and quotas. Here this past year, they pretty much stopped shark fishing totally in the U.S. We're down to just a few fisheries, long lining for tunas and swordfish. The uniqueness about North Carolina and where we're located, we are the most blessed state that there is along the coast, because we have so many types of species of fish that come up and down our coast from 0 to 50 miles. We also have the influence of the Labrador currents and also the Gulf Stream, which play an important role in bringing species of fish along our coast.
I've been fishing, if you count my history in this country, since 1672. I myself have been fishing all my life. That's my earliest recollection is fishing and fishermen. And it was a commercial basis. My family's been in the commercial industry up on the Chesapeake Bay, like I said, since 1672. And indentured cabin boy jumped ship as a 12-year-old in 1658, and in 1672 they have proof positive that one of my ancestors was not just selling seafood in this country, but that one of my ancestors was feeding a developing nation. A nation that had to have a protein source, and they took full advantage of a ready protein source, which was seafood. They're harvesters. They're, contrary to what a lot of media want you to think today, that we're rapists of the sea, that we're, people put the adjectives that describe the worst human condition to a harvester of seafood. And that's all that a fisherman is a harvester of seafood. But Dare County, in and unto itself, is very important, not only to northeastern North Carolina, because we don't have a tremendous amount of industry. We don't have deep water ports like they do from Wilmington south. We don't have a ready access to rail line. We are out of the way of trucking routes. And the backbone of Dare County and the history of Dare County goes back to seafood.
It's so deep and it's so entangled in federal regulation that it's hard for our state and local elected officials to keep up with. I try to, and I can't even understand it all. But we start right here and try to make sense of it and try to bring some common sense to it all. I think we can start to straighten it out. Well, I fish in federal waters, which is 300 to 200 miles, so I have to deal with the federal fisheries regulations and be permitted federally, and also I am permitted and licensed by the state, and that's the same thing that the commercial boats deal with, not just state laws but federal regulation and laws. And it might not be good for North Carolina what the feds say, but for some reason North Carolina wants to adopt everything the feds say instead of saying, wait a minute, that's not really good for Dare County, or that's not really good for North Carolina. I don't think we should do that. And I think we've just started doing that with this dogfish issue now, saying to the ASMFC that those regulations aren't quite right and we're getting the bad end of the deal. In the 80s and 90s, North Carolina harvested 15% basically of the dogfish that were harvested on the East Coast. And since the new fisheries management plan was adopted in 2003, North Carolina has harvested maybe 3%, sometimes 1%, but Massachusetts, who historically harvested 50% or better in the 80s and 90s, continued to harvest 50% or better throughout 2003 to 2007. And North Carolina got cut out of it. By now, I think our elected officials are standing behind the commercial fishermen on this issue, saying that we need to harvest our 15%. Maybe there's been a turning point, and maybe they've been educated, and maybe they care a little bit more now about commercial fishing.
It was deemed that this stock was overfished and overfishing was occurring. So through political pressures and management issues, the stock it was stopped, and they set a rebuilding schedule. Well, what's happened since 2002 is the rebuilding schedule. They gave it like I think it was a 10 or 15 year rebuilding schedule, and this schedule has exceeded itself in like the first 4 years. Instead of landing 3 or 4 million pounds of dogfish, we've landed about 600,000 pounds. And we have representatives that we send up to this Atlantic states, our state does, that are supposed to be fighting for our state and for fair and equitable rights. And since 2002, we've gotten nothing. So here lately, through our Board of Commissioners and fishermen, we decided, it's almost like you need to start at the low end of the pole and work your way to the top, because it just exposes what's going on. These stocks have been rebuilt, overfishing is not occurring, and we're still not fishing.
It's harder, more expensive, and it's a lot to it. You got to take a lawyer with you fishing so you know what you're doing or what you're not doing. Some of them fisheries I'm involved in with my other boat is I have a VMS, vessel monitoring system. I got to call in, call out, number of days I can fish, and just the cost of business along with all that crap. It's not getting up and going to work in the morning. The only management tool that's ever been used is stopping somebody from doing something. Never done anything to enhance the resource or the water quality or anything like that. All the reason we don't have stuff is because somebody caught it up. And from 1999 to this winter, my gross it dropped in half. My stock has dropped almost in half.
People say nowadays, you know, we have a lot of the imports. 85% of our seafood's imported. Well, I'm not here to stop imports. I'm just here to continue providing seafood to Americans and North Carolinians with access to their own resource. And the thing about their own resource is it's supposed to be managed for all users. And I see myself as being giving somebody access to this seafood who doesn't have money to go charter fishing or a boat. So therefore, when you go to a supermarket or somewhere like that to purchase seafood, you don't see it at $10,000 a pound, you see it at $10 a pound.
The Coastal Conservation Association has nothing to do with conservation. It has everything to do with saying, I should be able to fish like I want, I should be able to catch like I want, I should be able to keep like I want, but you can't. You, the commercial man, who's the backbone of our country, who fed the people who moved to this country for hundreds of years, you can no longer do it. And we should be able to do it like we want to with impunity.
Well, we hope people go to a restaurant and ask, does this seafood come from North Carolina? Or does it at least come from America? You know, are these shrimp I'm eating from Thailand? You know, we would hope that people would care.
We don't want no grants or something. We just want to go fishing. I hope this has been give you a little insight in my livelihood, and I'd like for it to continue. Maybe in a couple years, if there's an update on this, you'll still see me sitting here. I thank you, and y'all have a good day.
Commercial fishing was kind of in a corner by itself. But when I first came here, all the guys just about that worked on the charter boats, commercial fish through the winter. You know, the Albatross fleet did it when it was first started, and you fished year round. That was the beauty about this place. You could catch something 12 months out of the year, and that gave you an industry that was 12-month employment. And county needs all the industry it's got. It needs to keep this one going. It might be on a smaller scale right now, but there'll be a time when it'll change. It'll change. It ain't going to be a sorry time in this country.